Perfect Turd Podcast, episode 73, Lamar, Breach, starring Bruce Willis.
Let me tell you something. When you take out the A out of bald and you put an O, you have bold, because we need to talk about bald appreciation. We have a hero in this movie who is bald. As you can see, I am afflicted with such travesty, and I have dedicated my life now to appreciating bald people. And I want to say, I'm going to add to this, not only bald men, but women with big foreheads. So that way we are encompassing a great united front. In this movie, we were trying to look at it to see if it had that bald heroism, Joe. So
yeah. So you were rooting for this movie for all
rooting for
all the balds. Well, I was rooting for it for a while too. In fact, I was watching it. I came into this movie on a lazy afternoon. I just wanted to watch a B movie to, just to have a good time. And about halfway through, I texted you. I said, "Hey, this is not bad for a B movie." And then they lost me. About halfway through, they lost me. And we'll talk about it, but yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Just, I guess, run down the plot.
It's the typical humans effed up Earth, and we have to find another one. So we put a bunch of people on this one spaceship to find a new Earth. And we have a couple, a young lady who is already pregnant. She gets on, and then her boyfriend finds a way to get on as well. And she happens to be the daughter of the great leader.
Yeah, the Admiral.
The Admiral, played by Thomas Jane.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about Thomas Jane.
Yeah.
And so they get on board, and the guy, he's like, okay, I'm not like, they have to go in cryostasis. Is that what it's called? Or cryosleep or whatever?
Yeah.
She gets to go in cryosleep, I guess, because she's a baby. She's a woman, maybe kind of sexist, whatever. But he has to be part of the crew that has to stay awake, and he's kind of a janitor. And then he meets our bald hero, Bruce Willis. Clay, is that his name? His name is Clay. And then someone bugs the ship with some weird alien crap.
Yeah, it's basically like parasites that are an alien parasite that gets in people and turns them into zombies.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then, of course, they got to fight them before they get to the new Earth.
Yeah, so the stakes are high because this is the last of humanity. The old Earth is going to probably die out, and they have their ragtag group of people. Yeah. And things happen. And Joe, like you said, it kind of has a good setup.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that roller coaster that's like, and then it just kind of, instead of like the long, deep, like pitfall, it's just like,
Yeah. Because what I liked about the beginning, because I wasn't expecting much, but it was exceeding some of my expectations. What I liked about the beginning was it was kind of, everything was in the shadows. You didn't know who to trust. You didn't know what the parasite was and who brought it in, what was their motivation, all of that. And I was like, okay, this is good because they're not showing me too much. And then all of a sudden, the second half of the movie came and they decided to go apeshit with the awful CGI and the zombies doing crazy shit. And then the parasites band together to create one big monster that also looked like shit. So, yeah, they lost me completely.
They shouldn't have done. I agree with you. That CGI was crappy.
Yeah.
Because I get it. This usually in fake alien parasite lore, the parasites can come together. They all have one hive mind. But if you don't have the CGI to make things look good, it's kind of like you shouldn't do it. They should have just had the people just look bugged out and just kill people. Space zombies.
That would have been fine.
Yeah.
I mean, but even like their lasers from their guns looked awful. The everything. It was a little too much, and they just went overboard. They went from like slow burn and not showing too much, and then they just abandoned what was working for them to go ape shit with the effects that are not good. So
you wanted more of like a sci-fi mystery, like
yeah,
The Thing. The
yeah,
Thing does it perfectly because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know who it infects next, and then it's
right.
like, and then we talk about special effects. Remember back in those days, practical effects.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy, man.
Yeah, this movie could have benefited from more practical effects and low lighting, you know?
Yes, very
So,
true. Low lighting, it hides stuff, practical effects, you see things coming. But it's just, people with, which I will say this would have been fine. But like you said, when it got to the CGI part, I was like,
yeah.
oh,
And
God.
the plot started to just fall apart too, because it was like, oh, what's going on? What's happening? Who could we trust? Who brought the parasite onto the thing? And then all of a sudden, it was just one guy. His motivation for doing it was kind of dumb. And then you turn into the family thing, and it lost all what it had. It just dissipated.
Here's the thing. When you say kind of dumb, I think it just turned really dumb. I think they just said, like when they were filming the movie, all right, we just got to tell us we can shoot people.
Yeah.
Because we talked about this before. It's the snakes on the plane scenario. Snakes on the plane. You put snakes on the plane to kill one person, blah, blah, blah. Why don't you just blow up the plane? It makes for an interesting movie.
Yeah.
But this isn't as good as Snakes on the Plane. It's just, meh.
Yeah.
Oh, you did it? Oh, you're bad. Bye. And he gets
Right.
killed instantly. So he could have just blew up the ship. You mentioned you could have just hit the airlocks. Everybody die.
Yeah. Yeah. It went from like what could have been a pretty good B movie,
Yes.
and then they lost it. And then they didn't go nuts. It didn't become like a goofy, silly, fun B movie. It just stayed in this little area where it was like, okay, you lost the good part, and you didn't go full out silly. So now you're just in this kind of bland area.
I'm going to rewrite this movie, Joe. I'm going to rewrite it.
Okay.
This is what should have happened. Bruce Willis, he should have been like an old war hero who kind of like spent so much time from his family. And he said, look, this is the only way I can make it up to you guys. You can get on this ship.
Yeah.
And he's just like a janitor, but no one knows.
Yeah.
So it's revealed that he's like this badass guy or whatever. But in the movie, I kind of enjoyed him because he gives a shit, but he does the bare minimum with his job. He's not like, he's just like, you clean shit up. You didn't clean shit up. Damn.
Yeah.
Go clean shit up. And that's what it should have been more around him. Like, the old guy trying to lead like the other people around. Take out the CGI. And then that gives him more depth to his character. The whole guy that was fighting for his family, he didn't really care.
Yeah.
Like, he just, he has a baby who doesn't have babies.
He was more annoying than anything, I thought.
He should have been the sidekick to Bruce Willis. Like, he should have been like the chipper guy, and Bruce Willis could have been like, we're just going to another planet just to F it up, kid.
Yeah. Also, you mentioned earlier, Thomas Jane is in this movie for a little bit. His character is interesting. Another good actor, I guess, that's just kind of making these B-ish movies, but
yeah,
he looks like he's having fun, so I'll give him that.
It's a cross between having fun and he might have had something to drink, because he's just like really, I don't know, he's kind of goofy. Like, he's almost like parroting, because he has kind of like a grandeur.
Yeah.
He kind of does it a little overboard here. Like, he has sunglasses on a spaceship.
On a spaceship, yeah. Hey, you can never be too cool, Lamar.
I know, right? Yeah, you never know when, you have a really cool hero shot. You gotta. So, yeah, he was only in it for like 10 minutes, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, if you added up all his scenes, if that, yeah. That's kind of the way you feel with these movies. Everyone's like, listen, we just need you for the poster mostly, so do whatever you want to do.
Yes, that was Bruce Willis's part. I wish he would have had like that kind of scruffy kind of, now I got to really, save, my family kind of thing. But oh yeah, I'm a young man. I have to save my young wife. Can we just stop giving a shit about families? Like as the main plot, because it's kind of getting
it's just a thing so that when the hero's in trouble, he can say, "But I have a family."
He literally did that in this movie. He did that. I was just like, we get it, dude.
Yeah, that's really what it is. It's like, oh, he's got a family, so we have to root for him. But it's like, eh.
But see, if it was Bruce Willis, it's more like he's kind of like a fuck up, and so this is his last chance. But he kind of finds more gusto in other people to do the right thing, and stuff like that.
Right.
So we could have rewrote this movie. It could have been a nice little B movie, bald hero kind of guy, because you could have maybe threw in some like young guy that thinks he knows everything, and Bruce Willis kind of collides with him. So yeah, it's just meh. Just
a bunch of like stock characters. So what's the rating?
It's not horrible.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's. I would say this. I thought this was going to be unwatchable. When you said, check this out, I was like, really? Breach? Bruce Willis collecting a check? I'll give it I'll be nice to give it a 2.5.
Okay.
And if it was how I thought it was going to be, I thought it was going to be like a 1. Like Bruce Willis just like, but it wasn't that. So it's a 2.5. If you ain't got nothing to do, I guess you can. Yeah.
Okay, well, for me, I'm going to go 2. It's a 2 out of 5 for me, because it was just like, I was enjoying it to a point, and then they completely lost me, and I was like, after that, it's just kind of basic and stock and not that good. So, yeah, 2. There was some stuff about it that I liked, but overall, they lost me with the plot. So anyways, I guess that wraps this one up then. Breach.
A little bald appreciation. We're going to do this more. We're going to look for more movies. Bald people. And we'll have to find women with big foreheads as well.
There you go. Cool.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
Peace.
Deuces.